What if some of the greatest chapters of human history were hidden in plain sight, not buried under ocean, not locked away in distant museum, but scattered across open landscape of Africa, waiting to be seen, each into desert cliff, carved into mountainside, preserved inside caves that have kept their secret for millions of years, and written into stone cities that the world is only beginning to understand. Because across Africa stand 15 archaeological sites so extraordinary, they did not just preserve history, they rewrote it. Africa is often called the birthplace of humanity, but that phrase barely scratches the surface. For generation history books focus heavily on Greece, Rome, Mesopotamia and Medieval Europe. Africa archaeological achievement, its cities, kingdom, monuments and art were overlooked, misunderstood, and in some cases deliberately ignored. Yet, beneath Africa's soil lies one of the richest historian records on earth. A story that began millions of years before the first pyramid, that continues through powerful kingdom and thrive trade empires, through remarkable feats of engineering and artistic tradition that influence entire region. The deeper archaeologists dig, the clearer the picture becomes. Africa was never standing outside the history. Africa was helping to write it. And these 15 sites prove exactly why. So tonight, we travel across an entire continent, across desert, savannas, highlands, and ancient riverbed, in search of 15 places that change everything we thought we knew. Our story began here in Olduvai Gorge. A rugged stair cut across the Tanzanian landscape has earned one of the most remarkable nicknames of all of science, the Cradle of Mankind. In this ancient layer of earth, scientists uncovered some of the oldest human ancestors ever found. Stone tools more than a million years old, the first spark of human ingenuity preserved in rock. Few places on earth have changed our understanding of where we came from as dramatically as this one. And here's the question that has followed humanity for centuries. Where did we came from? Beneath the limestone hill outside Johannesburg lies a labyrinth of caves. The Sterkfontein has produced some of the most important hominin fossils ever discovered, including little foot, which is one of the complete early human skeleton in existence. These underground chambers are less a collection of tunnels and more a time machine stretching millions of years into the past. Every fossil here is a page from a chapter of our story we are still learning to understand. On the shore of Lake Turkana, the wind never stopped moving. Koobi Fora is one of the richest prehistoric fossil fields on Earth, yielding hundreds of remains that each one add another piece to humanity's family tree. If Olduvai is the cradle, Koobi Fora is one of the greatest archives. Every excavation here whispers the same question back to us: how much more is still waiting underground? Scattered across a landscape of extraordinary sandstone formation lies thousands of ancient tools. Hand axes, cleavers, hunting implementation crafted with remarkable precision, some so large that archaeologists still debate their purpose. Isimila is not just an archaeological site, it is a workshop, abandoned mid-task, hundreds of thousands of years ago, which has never been reclaimed. Ancient Thebes, which is now known as Lalibela, was once the beating heart of one of history's greatest civilizations. Its temple draft modern buildings. Its royal tomb contains discoveries that continues to stun the world. Its walls are carved with stories that have outlasted every empire that came after. Even today, archaeologists are still uncovering new chambers, new tombs, new treasure beneath the ancient sand. Thebes does not just preserve ancient Egypt, it contains it, still breathing beneath the surface. Long before European kingdom rose to prominence, Axum dominated the trade route connecting Africa, Arabia, India and beyond. Its giant stone obelisks, some of the largest monolithic monuments ever raised by human hand, still tower over the Ethiopian landscape today. Legend link this to city of the Queen of Sheba and the Ark of the Covenant. History and mystery intervene at every corner. But no legend is needed to make Axum extraordinary. The stones speak for themselves. Imagine carving an entire church not from a stone block but directly into solid volcanic rock. Now imagine doing it 11 times. That is Lalibela. Carved downward into the earth between 7th and 13th century, these extraordinary structures feels less like construction project and more like architecture that emerged from the mountain itself. Connected by tunnels, trenches and open country yard, Lalibela is still a living sacred site. Pilgrims still arrive, prayers are still offered, the candle still burns. An archaeological wonder and a living place of faith at the same time in the same stone. Massive granite wall raised from the African landscape. No mortar, no cement, no foreign blueprint. Just stone fitted so perfectly that many walls have still stood for 7th century. For generations, outsiders refused to believe Africa built it. Colonial era theory blamed Phoenician, Arab, even King Solomon. All of it was wrong. All of it was later disapproved. Great Zimbabwe was built by the ancestor of the Shona people. And inside those walls, archaeologists found ivory, gold, and Chinese porcelain. Physical proof of a kingdom embedded in global trade network stretching across the Indian Ocean world. Great Zimbabwe does not just tell us about one kingdom. It tells us what happened when people refused to believe others were capable of greatness. It is both an archaeological triumph and a lesson in the danger of assumptions. People think of pyramid, they think of Egypt. But Sudan contains more pyramids than Egypt itself. At Meroe, dozens of slender, elegant pyramid raised against the desert sky, steeper than their Egyptian counterpart, more pointed, no less magnificent. They belong to the kingdom of Kush, one of Africa's most remarkable and most overlooked civilizations. A kingdom that challenged powerful neighbors, that built a legacy stretching across centuries, and that still waits for the global recognition it has always deserved. Before Meroe, there was Kerma, one of the earliest urban centers in ancient Nubia, a powerful kingdom that rivaled Egypt at the height of its power. Its monumental mud brick structure and royal tomb revealed a sophisticated society that had already been thriving for centuries while others were just beginning to rise. Yet outside of specialist circle, Kerma's story remains almost entirely unknown. This is the quiet injustice of overlooking history. The greatness was always there. The audience is now beginning to arrive. In our next episode, we'll continue with our remaining 5 Africa archaeological sites that rewrote history. Carthage, which is in Tanzania, Northside, which is in Nigeria, Jinijona, which is in Mali, the Trad which is in Libya, and beyond the unknown, the continent entire. Subscribe my channel so that you don't miss any part of the story. Like my videos and press the bell icon as well as turn on the notification so that the history reaches you as it is uploaded on this channel. Until then, stay curious and keep questioning with history under the cap.